Hello all of you beautiful people, I'm Logan, and today I have a doozy for you. Have you ever heard of Pokemon? Well, that's a stupid question. You've probably heard of everything related to Pokemon. You've probably played all the games, you've played Pokemon Go, you've played all of the Pokemon. There's also a thing in the games called a Pokedex entry. Let's say you catch a Pikachu. That Pikachu will have a Pokedex entry in the Pokedex. And it's come to my attention that there are some just weird Pokedex entries that don't make any sense, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, let's just do it. Let's start off with Poliwag. Now, for anyone who forgot who Poliwag is, this is Poliwag. It has a giant, like, spiral in the center of it. So, the thing about its whole spiral is that that's actually part of its internal organs. That's actually a thing in the games. So internal organs are, yeah, they're not supposed to actually be like a spiral in yourself. Listen, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that internal organs are supposed to be like this spiral. I don't think that like they should be this thin, very like here they are kind of thing, because I think Poliwag, if Poliwag is going to get attacked by like a hyper beam, it might just die. One other thing that is actually pretty inconsistent is that it says that it's only a part of its internal organs, yet internal organs consist of the brain, the lungs, the liver, the bladder, the kidneys, the heart, the stomach, the intestines, a lot of disgusting stuff. Which one does Poliwag possess? If this is its brain, I for one have a lot of questions, but if it's, you know, like literally anything else, I think it's going to be damaged in battle a lot, because this is a very thin layer. If you're carrying it, you might just, you know, drop it by accident and it lands on a rock and then it's dead. You should really try to fix that. I don't know, maybe some sort of evolutionary cycle can fix that. Wait. Next Pokemon! Alright, Chestnut. We're gonna do this guy. One Pokedex entry says that its tackle is forceful enough to flip a 50-ton tank. How? Tackle is a move with 40 power. Okay, let's check some other moves in Pokemon. Hammer Arm is 100 power. Needle Arm is 60. Vine Whip is 45. Bite is 60. My point is that there's a lot of moves that are actually more powerful than Tackle, and 40 power is pretty abysmal. So if we're gonna flip a 50-ton tank, how many pounds is 50 tons? Woo! So Tackle is enough to flip a 50-ton tank with Chestnut. I just doubt that. I fucking doubt that a 40 power move is enough to flip over 100,000 pounds. So either Chestnut might be just like a big superhero, or maybe this Pokedex entry just isn't right. Okay, Spoink. You all know Spoink, right? The Pokemon that you most likely forgot about 1 second after seeing it. Now, this little guy has a little springer under his step. Now, that spring is actually pretty important to its survival, because according to the Fire Red Pokedex entry, it apparently dies if it stops bouncing about. So if you are fighting a Spoink and you make it faint, I just have a lot of questions when it comes to this Pokedex entry. Like, for example, its quality of life. How is it? If you pet it, or if you like snuggle with it, does it die? Thank God this thing evolves to something that doesn't need to keep bouncing around every time, but where it stands right now, it's pretty scary. Also, why not make this a thing? This is so easily avoidable. I mean, this is something that I think a lot of people just don't really want to be in the game. It could just be a bouncing Pokemon. That's all. It could just bouncy all around all day. And that's just its thing. It doesn't need to die. It doesn't need to die when it's bouncing. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, another one. Another one is just the entirety of Magikarp. Magikarp is just bullied by Pokedex entries, and this past was somewhat stronger with the horribly weak descendants that exist today. Famous for being very unreliable and underpowered, pathetic Pokemon. Magikarp is a pathetic excuse for a Pokemon. Magikarp is virtually useless in battle. It is virtually worthless in terms of both power and speed. I could keep going on because they do this for literally every generation. Poor Magikarp. Regigigas is a Pokemon that I think it's safe to say that nobody actually wants to use in battle. It has a pathetic ability. It's just a slow Pokemon. Okay, it's not a slow Pokemon, but it has a bad ability. One Pokedex entry caught my attention though, where it says that there is an enduring legend that states this Pokemon towed continents with ropes. Now, I have one question. How? So, ropes, they kind of snap. They kind of snap when pulling very, heavy objects. Now, a continent not only is very heavy, I would imagine, but you're also towing the continent. I think if Regigigas were to pull Asia, for example, he probably would stop at about 1 millimeter of moving, because I don't think this guy can pull a continent. I just don't believe that. I think it's ridiculous. But believe it or not, this is not the most ridiculous entry. I'm saving that one. Moving on. Cadabra. Y'all know Cadabra. He has a spoon and he's big, good psychic guy. But did you also know that Cadabra originated because of a young boy who couldn't control his psychic powers and ended up transforming into this Pokemon? Did you? Did you not? Did you really not think that this thing was a young boy? Obviously, I'm kidding. This doesn't make any sense. I'm very confused. And I have some questions. Like, for one, Abra exists. Did the small boy transform into Abra and then immediately evolve into Cadabra? How can he just transform into Cadabra? I think one of the worst things about this is they give very little context as to how. They just say that, oh yeah, a young boy just magically transformed into a Pokemon one day. Fucking how? Did he like pluck some sort of magic berry and then eat it? And then that would be very weird. The next one makes even less sense. Now this is like a twofer. Larvitar. Larvitar evolves into a very good Pokemon, Tyranitar. Very nice, very cool. But did you also know that Larvitar eat mountains? Yeah, apparently it feeds on soil, and after it has eaten a large mountain, it will fall asleep so it can grow. So Larvitar, this little guy, they will eat mountains. The average mountain ranges about 2.5 and 3 miles high and about 75 to 150 miles wide. You're about this high. I don't think that you can actually eat all of that in a given period of time. I think that you're lying to me, but it gets worse. Tyranitar ties into this as well, because he apparently knocks down mountains and buries rivers when he rampages. I just want to highlight the knocks down mountains part. So, how does the species survive? If the big boys are always knocking down the mountains, then how are the small boys supposed to eat them? It seems like a pretty big flaw in their kind of quality of life. Not to mention they're destroying mountains. I think people like walking on mountains. Stop destroying the mountains. Just eat soil. Eat soil. Eat like a nice donut, maybe? Stop eating mountains. Don't do it. Metane is a pretty cool Pokemon. He evolves into Metagross. I like Metane. He's cool. However, there is one Pokedex entry in Fire Red that says that it floats midair using magnetism. Cool. Its body is so tough, even a crash with a jet plane won't leave a single scratch. Around 575 miles per hour is the average jet plane speed. That is very fast. Imagine a jet. This is the jet crashing into a methane at 575 miles per hour. It doesn't even leave a single scratch. It doesn't even hurt methane. How? Does he have like some sort of metal coating that just prevents scratches? Because I think methane might actually just die from getting a jet plane smashed into his skull. I think he might just die. So yeah, either methane is ridiculously strong or he's ridiculously out of his mind and the Pokedex is lying, which that could not be the case. Moving on. Grimer. Now, this one just straight up doesn't make any sense. According to Pokemon X, sludge exposed to X-rays from the moon transformed into Grimer. Does the moon have like some sort of medical system where they examine sludge, or like they have, if you have a broken arm, maybe you put it on there and it's like, oh, you have a broken arm. Do they do that? Do they spread it out to Earth? How does that work? That doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Alright, this one I just thought was funny. Drampa is a Pokemon that exists. Apparently this Pokemon is very overprotective because according to Ultra Sun, if a child has made friends with his bullied, Drampa will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground. Jesus Christ. Now we got some legendary Pokemon. Yveltal or Yveltal or however the fuck you say this guy's name. I'm just gonna say Yveltal for the sake of saying it. Yveltal is big legendary bird guy, and he has one thing that's actually pretty terrifying. When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and turns into a cocoon once more. Why do they keep doing this where they make the Pokemon terrifying? I like Pokemon being not super terrifying. I like how it doesn't even specify like how much life energy is absorbed. It just says it absorbs the life energy of every living thing. Does it kill everything? Or maybe just a little teeny tiny bit? Does it do that or something? Give us more info. Beware, he's a cute, lovable, big bear guy. However, did you know that he breaks spines? Yeah, according to Moon, this Pokemon has the habit of hugging its companions, and many trainers have left this world after their spines were squashed by its hug. Nintendo, don't downplay it. Many trainers have left this world. No, they didn't just leave, they died. Alright, we got through all of the other stuff, and now I'm going to tell you guys a story. This next Pokemon is the last one, and the one I have saved. Because the very reason I even started this video in the first place. For some context, I was looking at some sort of 1 billion lions versus one of every single Pokemon. I don't want to get into it, it's a pointless argument. And I saw one argument from a video that made me very curious because I didn't understand why this one Pokemon was so dangerous. Ooh. And I did some research, and my god, I think they really screwed up with this Pokemon. Now, I'm sure that you have a lot of questions flowing through your head and brain right now. Maybe even your skull. One question might be, wow, this Pokemon, what is it? It must be very powerful. It must be perhaps a legendary if he saved it for last and he's hyping it up like this. No. I just thought that this was such a ridiculous thing, and I wanted to make it drag out for no reason. That Pokemon, that beautiful, useless award for the most ridiculous Pokedex entry I've ever seen goes to this guy. Him. Macargo! You guys know Macargo, right? Right? You remember him. He's a guy. I actually saw something that was quite concerning. An argument was brought up in the 1 billion lions debate that actually made me care a lot less about the debate in general, and more about how ridiculous some Pokedex entries can actually get. So that Pokedex entry is from Pokemon Sapphire, and it goes as follows. Macargo's body temperature is approximately 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit, It then talks about how water is vaporized on contact, and if rain comes down, it turns into fog, blah blah blah. Now, that's not what I'm the most confused about. I think the most confusing thing is the 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna look one thing up. How hot is the sun in Fahrenheit? Well, the sun is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. What was Macargo's degrees again? Can we look back at that? Oh, that's right, 18,000. So it's twice as hot as the sun, which makes me have a lot of questions, such as, how the hell is it just casually, like, slugging around on Earth? How is it not just falling through the Earth, go to the center of the core, say hi to the core, and then go straight back down to the other side of the Earth, and then just go right back down and say hi again? How does that not just happen? It's so confusing. And I think one of the other bad parts about this is that it says water is vaporized on contact. This guy is 4 times weak to water. There is no way that this guy is 4 times weak to water, but then it also vaporizes on contact. There's no fucking way. Another jarring hole in this story is that fighting type Pokemon is also weak against fighting types. If it was 18,000 degrees, they were essentially punching 2 suns. So if a fighting type were to punch Macargo, wouldn't his hand just kind of and then it's gone? It's very confusing. It doesn't make any sense. It stresses me out because I don't get how did you screw this up so bad? And that's all I have for some of the most ridiculous Pokedex entries. So thank you all for watching my video about me just ranting about Pokemon Pokedex entries for like, probably 10 minutes, hopefully 10 minutes. Hopefully shouldn't go on for too much longer. If you like my video, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.